Hello everyone, today we're going to talk about Lentor Central Residences. My name is Raymond and this is
Dennis.
Okay, let's go ahead. Just a disclaimer, today is more of like an analysis for the project, right? So if for more in-depth information, please contact us. Okay, so these are contact details. If you need to, you can scan here. Yeah. Okay. Alright. So Dennis, what do you think of this development?
Just looking at the picture, I think it's very amazing. I think some of us might have seen 𝐿𝑇𝑎, which is happening as we speak, and also 𝐸𝐸 was recently launched in Toa Payoh. Same thing, 2 towers, but this is in 𝐤𝐿𝐞. Oh. Sorry, this is in Lentor.
Oh, the 2 blocks looks quite amazing.
Yeah, they are pretty high up, and it's claimed to be the tallest residential blocks in Lentor collection.
Wow, okay, amazing, isn't it?
Lentor Central Residence.
Let's look at other artist impression, okay? Wow.
Swimming pool, nice dawn or even sunsets, and of course nice swimming pools. It's said to be having 6 swimming pools.
Wow.
2 lap pools, 125 meters and 150 meters.
Nice. Let's talk more about Lentor collection as a whole. Okay, so you can see from the master plan over here, 2028 and 2014. Technically, the yellow plots that you can see over here, okay, are mostly reserve sites. So subsequently, the government actually have some plans for it, and in the master plan 2019, they changed all the reserve sites to the residential sites. Okay, because they want to transform this into a new township, right? So this whole plot here will be more developed, but again, like I said, it takes time to build.
Yeah.
Okay, so as we can see here, this is a whole plot of housing development in 𝐤𝐿𝐼. Okay, Lentor is around this area Sorry, this area here. Yeah. So as you can see, we have a few BTOs that's coming up. Yio-Chu-Kang Beacon, Pineview 𝐤𝐼, Central Reef, and of course Kempan Baru. And this whole plot of 𝐤𝐼 actually is a very mature estate, right, Dennis?
Yep, and looking at all this, by the time everything is ready within Lentor collection, these HDB flats will have a good amount of HDB upgraders coming towards this part of the new township, which is the Lentor.
So exiting wouldn't be an issue, right?
Definitely not, because there will be adequate supply, plus there's a very good demographics coming from the whole 𝐤𝐼, and in fact not just from 𝐤𝐼, also going downwards towards Bishan. And if we go up north, we still have Yio-Chu-Kang, we still got Kati, we got Yishun, we got Woodlands. Yeah, so actually this Lentor new township could be quite a very attractive upgrading location for the north side.
Definitely. So of course later on we'll do a bit of case study on whether the 𝐤𝐼 BTOs owners can they upgrade using their sales proceeds, right?
Yeah, that would be a very interesting chat later on.
Okay, let's move on. Alright, so Lentor collection total, currently we have 5 plots, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that has already launched. Right, so Lentor Central will be the next one, which is over here. Okay, apart from that, total there's another 4 more plots. Okay, will be 1, 2, 3, 4 that not yet launched. Right, so total as of now there's 10 plots, but I think there may be another 2 more plots coming, right?
Yeah, could be around the area, unknown yet, but it will be in the master plan, I'm quite sure.
Yep, so of all these 5 plots, most of them are mostly sold out already. Maybe have only a few units left, supply left. Yeah, so of course we'll go through a bit of the transactions and also the leftovers floor type left.
So Lentor Central Residence will be the up-and-coming Lentor plot that we have currently, and looking at it, where this Lentor Central boasts actually one of the tallest residential buildings over here, like I mentioned just now, and most importantly, it has 477 units, not too big, not too small, just adequate, plus it has bedroom types of 1 bedroom to 4 bedroom.
Yeah, so for the developer, right, mainly this is a joint venture between the Hong Leong Holdings, GoKoLand and CSC Land Group. But what are the few developments that they did, right? So for Hong Leong, they did Jovel and Midwood. It's quite a well-developed projects. And also for GoKoLand, they have a Mayor Mansion, Midtown Modern. Okay, personally, I've been to Midtown Modern. It's crazy. Okay, it's very luxurious feel.
And GoKoLand did Lentor Mansion probably about last year, start of last year.
So as for CSC Land Group, they did Verdale and Park Greenwich. So for this Lentor Residence land bid price, we are looking at about 982 per plot ratio. Okay, and of course later on we'll be comparing with the different Lentor collections. Okay, so right now this is the land cost between the 6 different projects. As you can see, their site area, what their size like. Okay, the biggest of all should be Lentor Mansion. Okay, but we also have to take note that Lentor Mansion and Lentor Central are both harmonized projects.
Yep.
So that's why when we calculate the square feet later, might be a bit different from the rest of the 4 projects.
If you don't know about harmonization, feel free to look at our first video where we talk in depth about that, and that is actually one of the hottest topics these 2 years.
So looking at the bidding price for these 6 projects, right? Apparently you can see for Lentor Modern, 𝐤 and 𝐤𝐿𝐞 Greens, right? And even Lentor, their land bid is above 1.1
Yes.
or above 1k per square feet.
Correct.
Right, but their transacted price is also very high as compared. So of course, like the Lentor Central and Lentor Mansion, right, their bid price is lower, but doesn't mean that their transaction price will be lower as well.
True.
Am I right?
True. And most importantly, I think we need to understand whether you are a buyer or agent. We need to understand how developer thinks. And even though the land bid price is actually lesser than the last few projects, but they need to price their units a little bit more competitively as well.
With that said, I think given the break-even price at 1.793, right, they will not be pricing very close to this price. But later on, we go more in-depth into the pricing strategy by the developer.
Yeah, we probably don't know, but let's see how it goes.
Okay. So now Lentor collection.
So the whole Lentor collection itself, we are looking at all the projects that we have for now. Those in black are the ones that are not available in those projects. And if you notice, the first one, Lentor Central in green, are the ones that we're going to launch, which is about 477 units coming up soon. And most importantly, in all the rest of the projects that are listed down there, the ones in black are the total that they are selling. The ones in red are the ones that are available as of today as we speak.
So as I did some calculation, right, those that in reds are the leftover units.
Correct.
Yeah. So I calculated total there's about 161 unit left.
161.
Yes.
And for the last 5 projects, we total have about 2,000 plus units.
Yes.
Now that with Lentor Central coming up, it's going to add on to another 477, and that's going to make up to about 600 plus 700.
Definitely.
With additional 4 more plots coming, which we have no news as of now, and that's going to increase the new township.
Correct.
So quick facts about Lentor Central residence. So like I mentioned, there are 2 main blocks. One of it is 28 stories, the other one is 27. Both of them are located on the hill, which is just beside the Hillock Park. With that, this is a GFA harmonization project. That also means that it is quite similar to Lentor Mansion within Lentor Collection. Likewise, comparable to Ori, comparable to Elta. Most importantly, like the rest of the whole Lentor other projects, the connectivity to various transportation channels are very strong. Plus, which is not mentioned here, they have a direct connection to all the greenery and all the finger parks. Right.
So given 2 to 3 years ago, Lentor is an area that I'm not familiar with. I only know 𝐤𝐴𝐿𝐞.
Okay.
What I know is that Lentor is like a landed enclave. Yeah, and behind will be the teacher that said
Yes.
Yeah, but now I believe they clear up the whole forest area and become like a development.
Correct.
Right. So probably we go into more of the connectivity part, shall we?
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So by MRT, as you can see, right, the latest would be I think the brown line over here.
Yes.
Okay, it connects all the way from Woodlands, Dar, all the way to town area, and all the way up to Bedok South area. Right, so this is very convenient because it cuts through all the lines.
Correct.
Right, and cut down most of the transportation time. Right, and you have 2 stops to Bright Hill MRT, which is the Circle Line as well. Right, next up we have the RTS, which is coming up soon as well. They are in the midst of doing. So essentially, it's a train from JB all the way up to Woodlands area. So from Lentor side, I can take a brown line up to Woodlands and change it to the RTS. With this said, do you think that it will affect the rental market when this is up?
Wow, this is a very interesting.
Throw a bomb to you.
This is a very interesting topic. Now, of course, it will affect, but it might put it in a very positive way. Yeah, and therefore, Woodlands area plus Marsiling and also Admiralty all the way to Sembawang could be positively impacted. But if we are looking at Lentor collection, where we have possibly schools and people who decided to reside over there, then it will be also a very good place for Lentor to be as an investment or even for homestay.
Sounds good. Okay, let's move on to the connectivity by car right now. So as most of you all have seen along the roads, there's a lot of major construction that's going on right now.
Correct.
But mainly this is called the North-South Corridor. Okay, so personally I say North side. So along this whole stretch is a lot of construction that's going on. And people are wondering what's going on. So North-South Corridor actually is like an expressway link from north to the south side. and probably it will ease the city as well.
It's a Singapore version of 𝐒𝐢𝐿𝐞, One Belt, One Road of China.
Yeah, right? For this north-south corridor, right, it will actually reduce the travelling time up to 30 minutes.
That's quite a bit actually.
Yeah, so for Lentor itself, you can see over here, 𝐤𝐭 𝐄𝐫𝐢𝐳, they have an entry ramp coming up. So for Lentor, it's very straightforward. You exit, go up straight away into north-south corridor.
Amenities for Lentor collection, basically we have all the MRT stops, and just by 7 MRT stops you go straight into North Point City, and also 4 MRT stops you go straight into 𝐒𝐿𝐴. In fact, within about 6 to 7 minutes of drive, you'll probably reach 𝐒𝐿𝐴 as well. Then after that, we have Thomson Plaza, we got Causeway Point, which is 4 MRT stops away, and also we have Sembawang, and last but not least, going into 𝐒𝐿𝐴 Hawker Centre, Block 628.
Which is 1 MRT stop away lah.
Yeah.
Okay, shall we go into the bedroom analysis right now?
This is the interesting part about what we're going to talk about today. All our opinions over here are basically as opinions as an agent, and also in the perspective of a buyer / investor, or even / seller. Because for both of us in our team, what we do is we actually look at entry and exit plans. Coupled with that, we look into layouts. We look into layouts, and we look into other stuff that actually help people who love to get their hands into Lentor collection.
And of course, we look into the pricing lah. I mean, of course, now we don't know the price yet, but as an estimation, we know what's the upper and lower limit developer might price. Okay, so as a gauge, you can use that as compared to other Lentor collection. Whether is it a good entry price or exit price.
Correct.
Okay, shall we?
Alright, so let's go into one bedder. So for one bedder, there are technically 3 layouts for Lentor Central, and we have 1A, 1B, and 1C. Let's talk about 1C first. So 1C is actually a 1 bedroom plus study, which is 581 square feet. You only have 2 units, which is stack 14 and stack 5.
So it's over here and over here.
For the rest of the 1 bedroom units, which is at 481 square feet, they will be in stack 11 and stack 6. And we have about 53 of them. Going back to the floor plan, where we have 1A and 1B, the main difference of these two are the washer / dryer, which is located in different locations. As you can see over here and here. Okay, but generally, this is only because it's a longer walkway, and this one is slightly shorter. And down here in this 1C, you actually have a small little study room over here just for usage. So when we talk about this one first, 1 bedder, we are looking at a potential conversion of this study room with a door here or partition, and then turning it into another room, which is potentially good for rental in the future. Generally, for 1A and 1B, you pretty much can't do anything else, but it is just mainly a 1 bedroom, which is for either for own stay or even for rental itself.
For me, I feel that this 1C, if you convert this study into one of the room, right, technically the door will be over here.
Correct.
Yeah, so technically you will want to close up this toilet entrance. Okay, let's zoom in to see. Yeah, so if we can do it in a room, but the access of the toilet still have to be by this side.
So it poses a little bit of inconvenience if you have guests coming to your place under this 1 plus study. So that is one thing to consider if we are blocking up.
Okay, let's do a comparison with the other Lentor collection, shall we?
Okay, so in the rest of the Lentor collection, there's only Lentor mentioned that doesn't have a 1 bedroom. The rest of the 5 projects they have inclusive of Lentor Central. And if you're looking at most of the layout here, everything else is under 500 plus, 500 and above, because firstly they are non-harmonized. Now, if I were to take away the RC ledge, okay, and in this sense, that makes up to about 50 to 60 square feet. And if I minus off every single one of them, they will almost hit into the 400s, 480, 460, or even 470 square feet, if you do that exact calculation based on the harmonization, which is pretty much similar to what we have in Lentor Central. And down here, there's a few that I only want to look at because of several features that I think it might be good for own stay or even for rental. Now, particularly if we have over here, you notice that under Lentor Hues, we have a good walkway, and then after that, you have a good study here. Plus, most importantly, there is enclosed kitchen. Now, enclosed kitchen is actually quite important because in a 1 bedroom layout like that, when you cook, practically the whole unit will smell like your favorite food, right? So being enclosed here will definitely help in terms of hygiene and also scent. Then after that we have Lentor Modern. Lentor Modern's something good about this is that the balcony is a good space, and when you come in from here, the frontage view of this one bedroom is actually quite nice. Plus, if the doors are closed, it actually gives quite a nice privacy for the room. And in this portion, in this layout, the master bedroom is actually quite big for Lentor Modern. For 𝐒𝐿𝐞 particularly, unless you are someone who likes to put mirrors throughout over here, then it might be good, but other than that, it is a long walkway with a huge balcony over here, and I feel that it might be a little bit redundant if we are doing it for rental. Last but not least, we have Lentoria. For Lentoria, I think other than the balcony being big, there is actually not much space for your master bedroom, and however, you need to combine your living and your dining together. So, if you ask me, my general preference would be those with enclosed kitchen, with a sizable balcony, and last but not least, some privacy within our master bedroom if we are living in a one bedroom. So my preference for one bedroom layouts, I would like to strike off Lentoria and 𝐒𝐿𝐞 based on some reasons I mentioned just now, because our balconies are too big and also the long walkway. And even though we are looking at Lentor 𝐒𝐿𝐞, which is having a good enclosed kitchen. These three will be the main thing that I will look at when I look at one bedroom layout analysis.
Okay. So Dennis, we talked about the layout earlier on, but what if now we talk about the rental use for one bedroom? Because generally one bedder is normally for investors, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe a couple without kids, or maybe a single owner.
Yes.
Or I think mostly are investors.
Correct.
Right. So what do you think about the rental use in around that area?
So when we look at all these considerations, and we are looking at just around 𝐒𝐿𝐞, in terms of rental use, we have Panorama. So Panorama itself has a one bedroom which is 452 square feet and is non-harmonized, by the way. We are looking at past transactions just recent 6 months ago. Within the last 6 months, they are having a rental of about 3,000 in average. So for one bedder, when you have a square feet of 400 to about 500 plus, you know, the rental doesn't make much of a difference. It's just about 3,000 to 3,005 in average. And when we talk about the buyers, right, buyer's profile, firstly, as a buyer, as a first-time investor, I will buy something small.
Definitely.
Based on my budget. But if I were to sell, I'll also be selling to first-time investors. I'll also be selling to people who might have additional cash to buy something for legacy or whatsoever, which is mainly to get rental yield. Okay, now when we want to get rental yield, is actually using the 12 months of rental divided by the quantum that you will get your calculation in terms of rental yield percentage. Now the thing is, in order to have a good rental yield percentage, we want to have high rental amount with low quantum. Higher quantum in one bedder, meaning you are buying maybe about 500 plus, you know, per square feet. Maybe you are buying bigger one bedroom, which is amounting to about 500 square feet. But if you keep it lower to below 500, that also means that the quantum will be lower. Right? That also means that your rental yield could be higher. So if we look at this chart over here, we have average price for the average PSF for all the 4 other projects, and we are ranging about 2003 to 2005 per square feet in terms of dollars. And can I say that actually the lower per square feet, the lower quantum, which also equivalent to higher rental yield. So when we buy one bedder, it's very important for us to know how to enter and how to exit. Because essentially when we enter, we are as an investor mindset. When we exit, someone who buys is also the investor mindset.
Definitely.
Right.
So we talked about price earlier on. Shall we just use Lentor Central as a gauge to see what's the price compared to the surrounding Lentor collection?
Okay. So when we look at the right hand side of the screen, we are looking at Lentor Central, both 463 and 581. So we are using a range of per square feet from $2,050 all the way to $2,450 per square feet. Now this is only a gauge, a guess, but anything that falls between, it could happen. because based on the chart just now, price transacted of one bedroom has hit more than 2005 and didn't go below 2002. So hence, when we do all these calculations, we are looking at maybe about 1.04 million for one bedder for a small one, or 1.3 for the bigger 1+ study. Okay. Now, when we look at the left, Lentor Modern transacted their 527 square feet one bedder at 1.15 million. And also Lentor Hughes, 581 square feet at 1.284 million. So if I were to put in a safe gauge, I think anything thereabouts to about 2,200 XX per square feet, that could be a safe bet for first-time buyers. Anything beyond 2004 might want to relook at other options, which is the second point I want to get into when we talk a lot about pricing.
We talk about pricing, right? So mainly why we derive at 2050 and 2450 in between is because this is our upper and lower limit. Of course, in between, we are this 2250, we call it the sweet spot if possible.
Yes.
Right? And if you compare these prices, right, for the smaller 463 and the 581, the prices actually is quite comparable to Lentor Modern and Lentor Hugh price.
Yes.
Yeah, and the differences maybe not much less than, you see, for this 1.3 and this 1.28. The differences is not much, and probably the size are almost quite equivalent.
Yes.
Yeah. So if let's say Lentor Central were to launch at this 2250 price, I think is quite a good entry price for them to go into.
Correct. And 225 and 581 square feet or 463 square feet for Lentor Central is actual usable space, livable space.
Yep.
But Lentor Hill, you are buying the
AC
you're
ledge.
buying the
and
ledge.
whatnot.
Yeah. Another point that I want to mention for buyers who are interested in one bedders, you might want to consider pushing out your affordability as well, right? Because the pricing for one bedders over here, you can potentially get a two bedder in the same Lentor Central. Because in terms of the level jump, there could be a premium increase, and most importantly, the same amount at a high level one bedroom, you can easily buy something that is probably low or mid level, 2-bed, 2-bath.
So I think it's important to actually go through the pricing strategy of the developer, which is what we always analyze.
Yes.
Right. Today we might not go too in depth because there's a lack of time. But privately, if let's say you to contact us, we can go through the whole analysis of the pricing strategy by the developer. And from there, you can able to see at which level onwards the pricing may not be as ideal to enter as compared to the one bedder pricing.
Correct.
As you're looking at.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. Okay.
So to sum everything up for one bedder layout analysis, we need to understand the exit point, which is the first one. We need to look at the potential investor mindset when we potentially want to sell in the future. Second one, we need to look at ROI. And when we talk about ROI is rental yield, and because that being said, we need to use other projects around the area, 𝐒𝐿 especially, or even in Yio Chu Kang, to use it as a gauge. Of course, number three, we need to look at the layouts, because layouts are very important when we sell. You know, resale involves a lot of emotions, and when people come into your one bedder, they need to feel good. And when they have the feel good factor, the emotional liking will actually help you to get your unit out of your hands pretty soon. Last but not least, like we always mention, entry price versus exit price, this is very important. If you have transacted what other people have transacted 2 years ago, I'm quite sure you are pretty safe. So the third thing I want to have everyone to know is that there is a consideration, especially when we buy one bedder in Lentor Central or in the rest of the projects. When we look at past transactions of Lentor mentioned, 2-bed, 2-bath, they are looking at 527 square feet, and the past transacted cheapest was about 2,100 XX all the way to 2003. And theirs is a 2-bed, 2-bath. So with this amount of a quantum of example 1.2 million in Lentor Mansion, when we exit out from Lentor Central, our competitor will be Lentor Mansion 2-bed, 2-bath. Because if today you have a choice to buy a 1-bedroom at 1.2 million versus a 2-bed, 2-bath at 1.2 million, what would you do? I think anyone will choose the obvious, which is a 2-bed, 2-bath, right?
Yeah.
And most importantly, the space will actually have potentially more rental yield compared to a one-bedder because it's a 2-bed. Plus, Lentor Mansion is harmonized. So the chances of what I mentioned in point 2 just now is that potentially we need to up the affordability. If you are looking to get something within Lentor Central this time around, you might also want to get a 2-bedder when the time comes.
Okay, now we shall go into 2-bedder analysis. Okay, so for 2-bedder, usually what are the profile that will buy 2-bedder?
2-bedders will be probably newly married couples, couples with young kids, and probably people who are renting.
Like I said, the investors, right? They can actually potentially up their budget a little bit, okay, so that you can essentially loan out to maybe 2 different group of tenants, right? Okay, so in Lentor Central itself, right, we have 4 different types of 2-bedder, okay, mainly 678 square feet, okay, 689, 786, and 797. So in the gist of it, the main difference actually is the layout. Okay, first of all, we have the dumbbell layout. So what it means by dumbbell layout then is it actually means you go into the walkway.
Yep.
There's one room on the right, there's one room on the left.
On the right.
Okay, so for investors, usually they like this because they can separate the whole house into 2.
Correct.
Okay, so of course you have to be a 2-bed, 2 bath. Like 2-bed, 1 bath means you have to share the toilet itself. Okay, then there's another layout. Okay, we call it the traditional layout or what?
Chopper layout.
Okay, let me draw for you. So it's like a chopper shape. That's why they call it chopper layout. Okay, or typically it's looks like those HDB 4-room or even 5-room. Okay, so the other 2 different floor plans is mainly also a dumbbell, but with an additional study. Okay, what's the main difference between these two, 786 and 797, right, is the walkway here is a bit longer as compared to this part here. So even this part here as well is a bit short for here. So apart from that, it's quite similar. So these are the 4 different layout in the Lentor Central 2-bedder. Okay, let's move into more analysis on individual floor plans. So number 1, this 678 the floor plan, you have a very nice dumbbell layout, and of course what's good is that it comes with an enclosed kitchen.
Yep.
Okay, so the main stack in this area actually is stack number 1 and number 10. Okay, both are inwards facing for the pool. So ideally this particular floor plan itself will be very fast sold out.
Yes.
And of course what we call it this will be the premium stack.
Yep.
Where they stack most of the loading on these 2 stacks instead. Okay, as comparable to the rest of the 5 developments in Lentor collection. So what we're trying to see down here and compare is mainly, firstly, is the kitchen. Okay, as you can see, Lentor Central, we have a very nice enclosed kitchen.
Yep.
Whereas for Lentorial, second part here, they do not have. So even you want to, you have to build something. Okay, immediately when you come in, you will see the kitchen and the living area. Okay, 𝐒𝐿 Green also do not have an enclosed, it's just an open up kitchen. Okay, and Lentor Mansion open up as well. Okay, Lentor Hills open as well, and of course Lentor Modern with a very nice area. Okay, what I like about Lentor Modern is that they have additional small flex over here.
More flex, yeah.
Okay, which proved to be maybe a smaller area that can put your storages, or maybe one of the study room as well.
And it has a window there.
Yeah, over here.
Yeah, pretty good.
Even the kitchen as well. Okay.
So it actually helps in terms of lighting plus ventilation.
Correct. So for all these 6 different floor plans, right, we have actually narrowed down to 3. We have actually narrowed down to 3 different floor plans that we have eliminated the 3 other projects, which is Lentoria, Lentor Mansion, and Lentor Hills. Okay, so these 3 floor plans, now we do a direct comparison. All 3 have the enclosed kitchen, very nicely done. For Lentor Modern, okay, like we said before, he has a very nice flex over here. So overall, the room size are quite similar, balcony size, master bedroom as well. So all in all, which one will you choose, Dennis?
For my case, I'll stick to what you mentioned just now. I think the ventilation and also lighting, natural light plays a big part in my selection. So I think Lentor Modern will be the one.
Yeah, I totally agree as well, because you can see for Lentor Modern, right, we have a window here, we have a window here as well. Overall, I think it can prove to have a lot of natural light into the unit and bright and breezy as well.
Personally, I don't mind 𝐒𝐿 Green. The only problem is the study room is placed right at the door, which is a little bit awkward at this point when I look at it.
It can be what not? It can be a shoe rack only.
Walk-in shoe rack.
Walk-in shoe rack, yeah. You have a private collection. Yeah, okay.
Shall we go into the calculation?
So now that we have narrowed down to these 3 different floor plans, let's look at the numbers. Okay, for price comparison per se, right, Lentor Modern and 𝐒𝐿 Green already have transition that's going on, and they are priced quite closely at 2,200 and 2,220 per square feet. And after harmonized, that means after removing the AC latch, they are at 702 and 7,878 square feet. Right, so the price for Lentor Modern is about 1.54 million, and 𝐒𝐿 Green is about 1.72. If you are using the previous price matrix for Lentor Central, right, it will come in to be maybe starting price will be 1.38. Okay, the average price you're looking at is about maybe 1.52, and maybe the higher floor or the premiums facing or stack will be about 1.66. Right, given this price of 2250 per square feet, I think it's quite a good entry price.
Yes.
As compared to the other two floor plans that we have shortlisted.
Correct, and it's harmonized. Plus, most importantly, the pricing is almost what you can get, lesser than what they transacted 2 years ago in other projects.
Definitely. Let's go and look at the second floor plan, which is the chopper layout, okay, or traditional layout. Okay, it's only have a few units at stack 18, one stack. Same thing, also inverse facing. Alright, so ideally it will be maybe a premium stack as well.
Yeah.
A traditional layout, enclosed kitchen. So now we look at this particular traditional layout and compare it into the Lentor collections. In overall, how many traditional layout we have and how many dumbbell layout we have. So in Lentor Central, we have 6 dumbbell layouts, okay, 1 traditional layout, and so forth. And we can see the different projects. And Lentor 𝐿 residences itself, right, we have 9 dumbbell layouts. Okay, why so different? Because some of the block facing, they are facing the pool, and maybe outwards facing, they have different, there will be a slight difference in their build up and their layout as well. Okay, with this being said, we also can see that traditional layout may not be as popular in some of the projects. For example, Lentor Central or maybe Lentor 𝐿 residences. Whereas the rest of the project, like maybe 𝐻𝐿ock Green and Lentoria, they have evenly placed their layout with the dumbbell and the traditional layout.
I think the dumbbell layout is a very efficient layout for investors like myself. I think because like we mentioned just now, when you go in, you turn left and right, you have room of its own. So this gives privacy for tenants. Plus, it gives the own stayers a very clear sense of going to the left will be the master bedroom, going to the right will be for work, right? So work from home or even for young children and whatsoever.
How about the kitchen side? Do you think it's important to have an enclosed kitchen or non-enclosed kitchen?
Well, for young families or young couples, I don't think nowadays they cook a lot. But even if they don't, you soup up a quick dish like Maggi mee with fried egg. I think it's still going to make the room smell. So enclosed kitchen is one of my tick box.
The checklist, if you
one of my
checklists,
correct. Yeah.
Okay, let's look at the numbers of collection in the Lentor collection of how many enclosed kitchen and how many non-enclosed kitchen. Okay, so as you can see here in Lentor Central, all of them are enclosed kitchen. Okay, and there's zero non-enclosed kitchen. Okay, whereas the rest they are quite evenly up. Only Lentor 𝐿s have more as well. And for Lentor and Lentor Mansion, actually they have 0 enclosed kitchen. Okay. For a resale buyer that's coming in eventually, when this particular development TOP, right? I think these are the few things that buyers or investors will look at. Right? If let's say both are closely similarly in their layout, what they look out for are a few things, maybe dumbbell or traditional or enclosed or non-enclosed.
Do take note that these data are for our two-beders layout analysis, doesn't apply to other layouts.
So with that particular floor plan, let's do a small comparison within the other two development right now. Okay, so for Lentor 𝐿s and Lentoria, these are their floor plans. For Lentor 𝐿, after it comes into the unit, okay, they do not have an enclosed kitchen. So over here is also an open area with a fridge being standby here as well. Okay, and all the way a very long living area. Okay, and as for Lentoria, similarly, the kitchen is over here. So if you're going to build a sliding door, it's very awkward as well. Right? Whereas for Lentor Central, they have a sliding door here. And I think once you come in, the same thing, you can see the whole area with the living and the dining area. So for Lentoria, right, it do not have a specific allocated dining area. It's merged together with the living room. So technically, you have to squeeze a bit lah. Whereas for Lentor Central and Lentor 𝐿s, we have specific dining area.
One thing about Lentoria, when you walk in, I'm not sure about our viewers here, but I feel it will be a little bit claustrophobic because the moment you walk in, you start to see the cabinets on the left and right. And well, if people are cooking, you might be in the way, you know. If people want to walk in and out of the unit, it could be a little bit troublesome. Okay,
so all in all, the 3 layouts as being mapped out right now, I think we will choose Lentor Central as our ideal choice. Again, reason being is because of the enclosed kitchen lah. I think that's very important for most of the home buyers. Okay, let's move to the next floor plan of the 2-bedder. Okay, so this is the 2+ study. Okay, 786 square feet, 73 square meter. You have enclosed kitchen and allocated the dining area.
This is a bigger one, yeah?
Yes, correct. So mainly where are they situated at? Okay, they are over here, here and here. So these two are actually outwards facing.
Outward facing.
And one also outward facing, but there's a pool view for this particular side.
Could technically see the view if we are going for higher level.
So we compare now for Lentor Central as to Lentor Modern. Okay, just now what we did before, the Flex. Okay, so Lentor Modern has about 732 square feet. After minus the AC ledge is about 698. But the thing is about Lentor Modern, they have a small flex room here. They have a window and window. Lentor Central similarly also have a small study room here. But of course, with this being said, right, they are quite similar in a sense. Am I right? I think pricing wise, we also compared earlier on, I think it's quite similarly.
Yes.
Okay, but what if given this floor plan, right? With this floor plan, right, for the Lentor Central 2 plus study, you can actually get a 3-bedder at Lentor Mansion with the same size.
Wow.
Will you be keen? Okay, let's look into it right now.
Okay.
Okay, these two comparison of Lentor Mansion and Lentor Central Residences at 786 square feet and 786 square feet as well. Okay, so we can see for me is that Lentor Mansion, although do not have enclosed kitchen, but have a very big straight out living area, and they have 1 bedroom on the left side and 2 bedroom on the right side. So given this in the resale market, which one will the investor or home buyer choose? If let's say now they have a choice of 2 and 3 bedder.
If money is not a problem, gotta go 3-bedroom.
Yeah, I believe the PSF wise we only will know in the future. But what I'm saying is right now, if let's say the entry price is like that, okay, 3-4 years later when they go to sell in the future,
This will actually pose a challenge, right?
correct. So they are actually quite competitive between each other. Okay, so this also posts out to all the buyers out there. If let's say you're looking to buy a resale either in Lentor Central and Lentor Mansion, which one will you choose? So then, let's move up to the summary of the 2-bedder. In our opinion, we are ranking them accordingly to our choices. Alright, so first of all, we think that 689 is our top priority. Okay, subsequently we go into 678, 797, then lastly will be 786. So in summary, the 2-bedder mainly we are looking at this. They are for investors and family that stays for own stay. Maybe a small family of maybe 1 kid or 2 kid maximum. Right, 3 will be a bit squeezy.
Young kids lah.
But for investors per se, right, they actually can rent out the whole area. Okay, like a dumbbell wise, you can actually split up 2 different tenants. Layouts are very competitive between the Lentor collections. So take note to actually choose properly which layout to enter. Okay, and floor plan selection wise is more of the resale in the future on how you intend to choose which development to enter. Okay, so entry price and exit price, I think we went through. I think their prices are quite competitive between the surrounding Lentor collection. Given Lentor Central launching, I think quite a few months later or even 1 year, it still can be priced quite competitive within the collection as well. Okay, so now shall we go into 3-bedder? Okay, so 3-bedder, right? Like we mentioned in 2-bedder, mostly the profile of the 2-bedder are investors or small homeowners. So 3-bedder usually are for who, Dennis?
3-bedders will be for upgraders, people who have probably get a good capital gain after the 2-bedders or 1-bedders, or even people who want to upgrade from HDB. And in terms of family demographics, probably 4 people, family nucleus, or even more. But you'll be a good space for example, even for myself, you'll be 1 room for each kid, and then a master bedroom for me and my wife. So family nucleus will be the
correct, about 4 to 5 packs now.
Correct.
Yeah, so a 3-bedder in a private setup is almost equivalent to a 4-room flat in HDB.
4-room flat, correct.
Right, the traditional layout, 3-room all tucked to one side, quite similarly. So, like we mentioned just now earlier on very earlier in the video, we said that 𝐒𝐚𝐼 there's actually a few plots of videos coming up. So those could potentially be our target audience. Yeah, eventually once the MOP and whatsoever. Okay, later on we go into case study. So right now let's go into studying of the floor plan. They have 2 types of the 3-bedder. One is a very short way. Okay, at 915 square feet. Okay, this has no household shelter. Okay, only 3-bedroom, all tucked to one side. Whereas for the 1076 square feet, they have a household shelter at the back of the kitchen and a yard area as well. Okay, let's go into the 915 square feet, 85 square meter, traditional layout, enclosed kitchen with a glass. Okay, so a lot of the development in this area, right? Their kitchen, although it's enclosed, some of the we talk about 2 or 3 development, right? But what's so special about this particular Lentor Central development? Their close-up area over here is a glass. Okay, what does that mean, Dennis? It means from the balcony, when the sun comes up, right, they can shine all the way through to the kitchen. What about enclosed kitchen is that sometimes it can be pretty dark.
Correct.
Yes. So for this, right, although it's enclosed, they use a glass panel so that there's more light that's coming in. Right. I think this is one of the key selling point in this development for this 3-bedder.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. And for this particular 3-bedroom, we're having a stack over here that's facing the pool facing, and this is park facing. Okay. Again, this might be the premium stacks for it as well. Okay. Comparing to other projects like Lentor and 𝐒𝐚𝐿𝐞, the Lentor after minus the AC ledge is about 860 square feet, and for the 𝐒𝐚𝐿𝐞 is about 844 square feet. Okay, both look quite similar. Okay, it's just that for the Lentor it does not have an enclosed kitchen, although they have a very long living room, but do not have an enclosed kitchen, and the dining table is actually merged together with the whole living area. Whereas for 𝐒𝐚𝐿𝐞, yes, you have an enclosed kitchen, but you do not have what do you call it, the glass panel like what Lentor Central has. So essentially, it will be pretty dark over there if you not on the lights or whatnot. Whereas for the other 3 projects, Lentor Mansion, Lentor Hills, and Lentor Modern, for Lentor Mansion, we do not have an enclosed kitchen. It's open kitchen all the way, so it can get pretty smoky.
Yeah.
As for Lentor Hills, okay, it does have enclosed kitchen, and it have a small glass panel over here. So technically, it's quite similar to Lentor Central, but it's just that you have a small glass panel. That's something that we'll look into it later on when we narrow down.
Well, it allows a little bit of natural light though.
And for Lentor Modern, you have an enclosed kitchen, which is very nicely done. Okay, so all in all, I think we have shortlisted these 3 particular layout: Lentor Central, Lentor Hills, and Lentor Modern. These 3 with the enclosed kitchen. Okay, but I think my best choice is still Lentor Central.
How come?
Because of the glass panel. Okay, that allows a lot of more lights coming in. Well, you see for the rest, although Lentor Hills have a small glass panel, but I think the DB box over here that's blocking the whole development itself.
But one thing I like about this one is because the bedrooms are all tucked to one side,
Yep.
and all the owners sleeping in the bedrooms, they have the same view.
Yep.
Yeah, so no one's got to fight for anything at all.
Okay, so all in all, I think our choice would be Lentor Central. With these 3 floor plans, these 3 particular development, we shall go into the price comparison. So Lentor Central, if let's say we're using the price ceiling and the baseline at 2050 and 2450, the price at the base we're having is about maybe 1.875 million. Okay, and the median price we're looking at is about 2.05 million, and of course the more premium stacks we're looking at about 2.24. As compared to Lentor Hills and Lentor Modern, okay, their prices, I think the PSF are also quite similarly priced at about 21xx per square feet.
Yep.
Okay, so if we are using 2.058 million as compared to the other 2 development, right, the price difference is only about 111 and 144. 100,000 differences.
Well, to some viewers, this might seem a lot, but if we look at actual usable space, Lentor Central actually gives you a effect where you go in, you really know what you're paying for, and the space you're paying for, you're actually using it and stepping on it.
Yes.
Right. But when we look at other projects which is non-harmonized, then obviously you're paying for a little bit more that is non-usable.
I think to see whether the 2-bedroom with the glass panel is it impressive, right? Come down to the show flat with us.
Oh yeah.
We will show you. Yeah, then you'll be wowed by the effect of it.
Correct.
Okay, so as you mentioned, Lentor Central, right? Who are the pool of buyers? So mainly we are looking at the whole 𝐒𝐚𝐿𝐞 development. As we can see over here, even for this particular block 606, the leasehold is from actually 1980s. Okay, people are selling at about 1.03 million.
𝐒𝐚𝐿𝐞, 1.03 million.
Okay, of course, the rest of it, maybe a smaller 3-room over here. Okay, about 700. So, can we just say that the whole transition in 𝐒𝐚𝐿𝐞 evolved around from 700,000 to about 1.2 million, that range?
Yes.
Yeah, so with this pool of buyers, I think exiting Lentor Central will not be an issue. What do you think?
Exiting Lentor Central as a buyer today, it will definitely help us because of all these potential upgraders nearby.
Definitely. Okay, let's look at the past collections buyers. What are their profiles like? Okay, so for 𝐒𝐚𝐿𝐞, Lentor Hill, and even Lentor Modern, if you do zoom in into all these charts, right, most of their buyers are 2 or 3-bedder. Okay, so like we said previously, the buyers profile for 2-bedder are usually investors or small families, and 3-bedder are usually for families upgraders. That's where they have the funds lah. And as you can see from here, right, this chart, in 2022 to 2033, they have this whole plot of units that's going to MOP, which equates to almost 54,000 units. So projects in this particular area from Bartley all the way down to Lentor Central, Chuan Park, all these things, right, all adds up is only 4,800 units, right? Even with 10% of the HDB upgraders, right, we won't be able to fulfill the whole entire supply. So that means actually there might be a short of what?
So supply.
Yeah. Also means what? The
Higher
price need to. Yes. Okay. So supply demand, we have to weigh it out. Okay. For 𝐼𝐭 itself, central with this particular development, we have the rough starting home price for the 4-room and the 5-room. Okay. So 4-room HDB, which is about maybe 535k, and 5-room is about 720k. Then let's do a case study now, Dennis. If today you are a homeowner of 𝐼𝐭 4-room flat, okay, if you have to sell that BTO after 5 years, would you have the funds to upgrade to Lentor Central?
Well, of course, we need to see the selling price of the HDB that I can sell.
Yep.
Then after that, we need to see how much CPF and how much cash proceeds that we have. Like a lot of people need to calculate CPF accrued interest plus CPF use plus the net profits.
Yep.
And that amount should be enough for probably a down payment or a part of the down payment together with the existing OA.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So now we look at the transaction around at this area. 𝐼𝐭 over here. Alright, this transaction is from Jan this year all the way to last year October. So you can see the transactions, right? The highest is about 1.12, lowest is about 730. Why such a drastic difference? Okay, sorry, because this is an older unit. Okay, but prior to that, I think the rest of it is about 900 onwards to 1.12. Okay, using this as a case study, today if let's say our average selling price is about 920k. Okay, and our purchase price is about 535k. Okay, our CPF we clear it at 200,000 and we loan about 335. Okay, our money installment is about $1,520. 5 years later, MOP, okay, we sell at 920k. Okay, then our outstanding loan, right, it probably left about 280k, and the amount of CPF that we paid is about 290k. So we take selling price minus outstanding loan and CPF, principal plus accrued paid. Our sales proceed will be about 335k cash back. So at 330k, right, 250k, right, plus 290k, essentially your funds will be about how much?
640 cash plus CPF.
Exactly. So today, if let's say we go into purchase a 3-bedder at Lentor Central Residences at 2.1. Just now, I think our calculation is about 2.09 something.
Yes.
So you write up at about 2.1 million. The down payment required is about 25% cash and CPF. Okay, which is about 525,000 plus stamp duty of 74k 600, and total amount to only close to 600k. It means to say, right, if we take this minus this, we still have about 40,000 surplus. And we can use that probably for our renovation. So I think ideally our HDB upgraders now have a choice to upgrade, and our owners of this Lentor collection, okay, also have a very high possibility to offload and reinvest again.
Yeah, that's why buying it now, actually we are looking at the exit plan already.
Correct. So let's go ahead to the next floor plan, looking at the 1076 square feet, 100 square meter. It have a very long living space, alright, and household shelter, what I like is that it's being kept in the kitchen. Right, because now a lot of those developments, right, the household shelter is outwards.
Yes.
That means their opening is here. Okay, so it's very unsightly, number one. Number two, you have to build a cabinet to conceal it.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's additional renovation cost. Okay, like what Dennis mentioned earlier, the bedrooms are all tucked to one side. So the view is consistent throughout from the balcony all the way to the master bedroom.
Yep.
And for this particular floor plan, right, it will be at this stack inwards facing pool, and of this as well, outwards facing. As compared to the rest of the development, Lentoria and 𝐼𝐭 Green, so we understand the 3 premium, right, they typically have a very long layout. Okay, as we can see over here, come in, and usually they have a small shoebox area to put your stuff, maybe a shoe rack or whatsoever. So for these 3, all of them are enclosed kitchen. But then again, Lentor Central stands out is because of this glass panel. The rest of it, I think for Lentoria, the kitchen entrance is a bit weird. So you have to walk in here all the way, make a U-turn and come in here. So the entrance is not here and it's here instead. So it's a very long walkway lah. I red carpet like that, you can walk in.
Not bad leh.
Yeah. So for 𝐼𝐭 Green, the entrance is over here. And as spoken, they have a small window, quite comparable to Lentor Central. Okay, after minus the AC latch, the size are quite similar lah. Let's go into the other developments in the Lentor collections. For Lentor Mansion, you have a very interesting layout. You have a toilet over here.
Right at the door.
Yeah, so what do you think about this, Dennis?
I hope no one used the toilet if I'm living there.
Why do you say so?
I think it's just additional cleaning tasks. Plus, I think I'll turn it into something else.
You mean you will take out everything and turn it into a storeroom?
Yeah, either a storeroom or for washing for yacht or utility or what so.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, just now you mentioned the household shelter. So for this particular Lentor mansion, we can see the household shelter entrance from here. So like I said, it's either you conceal up, build extra cabin to conceal up so that you can open up a sliding door so that it won't be seen by your guests or visitors. Okay, for Lentor Hue, I felt this void space is a bit too much.
It's like taking a lot of energy to go into your own house.
And also I think it's a void space. But what's good is that the household shelter is in the kitchen area and there's a small yard as well and it's enclosed. Okay, Lentor modern wise, nice. I like the long kitchen over here. They have the whole kitchen and household shelter at the back as well.
For people who like to cook, this long kitchen will be great.
And they have an additional flex over here. So I think this provides an additional room that you can play with in terms of your storage or maybe a man's cave or whatsoever.
Yeah.
So in this 6 different layout, I think we have narrowed down to Lentor Central and Lentor Modern, mainly because of the kitchen and of course the walk-in itself, the layout. So with these two particular floor plan, I felt that Lentor Modern has an additional advantage to it because of the flex room that they have.
Yep.
Although the size after minor AC latch is smaller, but I think able to provide additional room for it, I think is stand out and have an advantage towards that. So I think I would choose Lentor Modern. How about you?
I think I'm okay with both. Just that when it comes to pricing, this is something that I always also look at when it comes to layout. But in terms of layout wise, if I were to go back to the topic, I think Lentor Central can be my choice because of the home shelter plus the long kitchen. Particularly, I love the window at the kitchen, the enclosed glass window.
A lot of lights coming in.
Yeah, I prefer something that is airy and also with a lot of natural light.
Let's do a summary for the 3-bedder right now. Okay, so 3-bedder typically their profile they're looking at is actually HDB upgraders, and I believe that there will not be a short of demand in this area.
Correct.
Because of the BTO developments coming up. And mostly 3-bedders have a long walkway and kitchen, okay, and of course the household shelter and the utility room. All the rooms are facing the same side, in fact on the same side as well. And of course, like we mentioned, the entry and the exit price.
Yes.
Okay, but right now, what if I tell you, right, in Lentor Central itself, the 3-bedroom and the 4-bedroom are quite comparable.
Comparable in what?
In terms of their size. That means if let's say I were to put side by side, 3 and 4-bedroom, and the price difference is not much as compared to their premium.
Okay.
And this equates to a down payment even lesser.
Oh.
Shall we take a look at that?
Got such good lobang.
Okay, let's have a look. So this is 3-bedder Lentor Central, and just now what we saw. And 4-bedder right now, okay, their size is at 1184. So the difference in size is about probably less than, I think about 100 square feet. But look at the price. If let's say we use the same PSL come in at 2250 and 2250, okay. So a 3-bedder quantum is about 2421. And for a 4-bedder quantum is about 2664. So the down payment difference is only about 60k.
60k in down payment difference, and yet you get one more room. Okay, that's amazing.
Okay, so those actually choose a 3-bedder, right? I think don't include yourself to only 3-bedder. Okay, look at maybe have the idea of 4-bedder as well, because I believe 60k might be a big difference for you, but some of you budget can really consider the 4-bedder.
Yeah, because in Singapore, I think land is scarce, and every square feet that you get is actually very valuable.
With that being said, shall we go straight into the 4-bedder?
Okay. Here comes the 4-bedder. So in Lentor Central, technically we have 2 stacks for now, which is what we call the 4-bedroom, the smaller 4-bedroom, and they are at 1184 square feet. We have 4A and 4B. If you can see in the orange boxes, other than the wardrobe, which is in 4A is a length, and in 4B, the wardrobe is a L shape. One of the other main difference will be based on all the 4 bedrooms are tucked in one side, which gives the same view for all the residents inside. So this is where the smaller 4-bedroom will be at in stack 8 and stack 13. Then after that, we have 4C, another layout, which is a bigger 4-bedroom over here, is at 1399 square feet, stack 3 and stack 16, and overlooking the park. So they have a premium view for sure. And last but not least, if you notice over here in this 4C layout, we potentially have something called the junior suite because we have bedroom 4 and the bathroom side by side. But other than that, all the 3 layouts over here for 4-bedroom, same thing. They have the glass window by the kitchen, and in terms of the coming in, Over here, you have a great frontage. Looking through the kitchen, you're able to see the whole living room plus whatever you see out there. And this is where one of the perks for 4-bedder, you have a great view, especially if you are going for the upper levels.
So Dennis, for you personally, right, do you like the L-shaped wardrobe or the long one-shot wardrobe? For example, this, right? For example, these two, they have this L-shaped wardrobe over here, walk-in wardrobe, and one longer. Which one do you like personally?
I prefer 4A actually.
4A, why?
4A, I think, give us flexibility to add on to whatever wardrobe was given to us, or we can remove it and customize in another way possible. Because over here, you see there's a little bit of space by the master bath, which you can make your own L wardrobe. But in 4B, it is pretty much fixed, and based on that, might not be enough for my wife.
But do you know, right, Dennis, even if I build additional wardrobe here, right, you only get to use this small part here, because the rest will be for your wife.
Thank you very much.
No, but what I'm trying to say, right, is that even with an L-shaped wardrobe, right, what I feel is that sometimes, right, this small space here will be a void space.
Correct.
Because technically this will be a sliding door here, this is a sliding door. Then this center part will be a bit of a wastage space, unless you can pull out.
Correct.
Then push it in, which is some of the ID that I've seen before. Yeah, otherwise I think prefer this would be more straightforward.
So for 4 bedrooms over here in other projects, technically we don't have much of a difference other than the pricing, which we will talk about the pricing later on. So for Lentor Hills, the layout is almost similar, where we have a very good kitchen glass window. All the rooms are stuck to one side and they have a bigger balcony in fact. Then after that, we have 𝐒𝐿𝐼 Green. 𝐒𝐿𝐼 Green, we are coming in from here, and you will probably see the living room, and the kitchen will technically be quite dark because it's just enclosed but with a small little window down here. When you walk into the bedrooms, technically you need to go left and right depending on what you do. But in 𝐒𝐿𝐼 Green, you have this thing called the junior suite as well. And the master bedroom over here can be quite huge, which can have some creativity in your storage. Then going downwards, another harmonization project, which is Lentor mentioned. So with that, this one here, we have a long balcony, and then when you come in here, your view will be the kitchen, the dry kitchen, the wet kitchen, and also the dining. And when you turn to your right, when you come in here, go straight down, you will probably see the dining area, which will give you a very great, nice, grand view all the way down to the living, and then going downwards to the balcony.
But for this, right, I think again the downside might be the bathroom at the entrance.
Yes.
Yeah, if the bathroom would shift it into the kitchen area as a WC, I think that might be a bit more appealing.
Yes, for sure, for sure. And lastly, we have Lentoria. So in terms of Lentoria, you have a long walkway, which you need to have some creativity to do something over here. And then after that, you have a junior suite. And this junior suite is actually very good for potentially rental, or for someone who requires a little bit more privacy within the house. Other than that, everything else is the same, other than a small little window here. And the rooms are all tucked to one side with the toilet on the other end. So when we talk about 4 bedrooms, there are some things that we might want to consider, which is why we cross out Lentoria, we cross out Lentor Mansion. Well, the space over here, depending on what you need in the living and the dining area, it needs to be huge, I feel, for 4 bedroom. Technically, their living space is more, so you will provide a better frontage and better view with a luxury feel. Okay, and also for 𝐒𝐿𝐼, likewise, when you go in, then your whole vantage view will be very good. But most importantly, I think I like 𝐒𝐿𝐼 is also because they have a very clear distinction of our left and right rooms, like a huge dumbbell layout.
Dumbbell layout, yeah.
So when we talk about calculation, based on what we have here, based on parts transacted, Lentor Hills, very similar to Lentor Central Residence layout, the parts transacted was 2,222 per square feet, with using the 4 bedroom premium or bigger 4 bedroom pricing is about 3.108 million. And with parts transacted for a slightly smaller one, but not much of a difference, like less than 50 or 50 square feet, at 𝐒𝐿𝐼 is at what, 3.03. And if we look at a gauge of similar transacted per square feet 2 years ago compared to now, which we are guessing hopefully it can come this close, which is 2250, with the bigger 4 bedroom in Lentor Central Residence, you can get 3.14 million. Well, the difference ain't a lot. The only thing is everything is usable because Lentor Central is just harmonized. But I would like to put this across to all our viewers here. When we look at a 4-bedroom, there are typically a few things that we need to take a look. Firstly, per square feet pricing will be very important because being high-level residential blocks, there is this thing called a premium jump between levels. And after a certain level, the quantum that you pay over here could be equivalent to a landed or 5-bedroom elsewhere, right? So this is something we need to take note. Second is, when it comes to layout, for 4 bedrooms, buyers probably prefer a luxury feel. And that being said, could be a junior suite that people normally liked, or probably a private lift in some of other developments out there in the rest of Singapore. We need to take note that when we look at the pricing, Lentor Central Residence for 4 bedroom, please do take note of the premium jump. So when we look at price comparison, and we are looking at over here, we have all the post-launch in Lentor collection, including Lentoria. If you look at the average PSF, from 2059 to 2240. So this range could be a good range, which is landing about here or thereabouts, with 2050 to 2250. Anything more, please slightly consider other options, or we look at which flooring or which facing. So when we look at 4 bedrooms, depending on which level is at, we need to know where we need to cut off by not entering at the quantum at a certain level, because if we don't have private lift here and some of the layouts they do not have a very good walk-in wardrobe or no junior suite, then it could be a great turn off when we want to let go in the future. And this is something that we really take note. Or other options, you can straight away venture into something that is private but landed, because of the quantum in terms of this amount. And therefore, we want to make sure that the exit point is a lot easier for everyone.
Okay, let's do a summary for a 4-bedder.
So like I mentioned just now, the first point, very, very important, will be having a junior suite and or a private lift, because when it comes to 4-bedroom or even 5 bedrooms in future projects or current post launches or even resale, I think these are the main 2 things that will give the luxury feel for buyers in the future, or even for ourselves, or even for own stay.
Definitely.
Okay. Number 2, do you really need the longer walkway in terms of the layout, or do you prefer a bigger balcony? Longer walkway, you probably need some good ideas or good creativity to make use of space for the red carpet walk or storage or whatso. But having a bigger balcony, you can probably put your dining table there to host more people, more friends, more relatives, more gatherings, right? Or you can do your own nice little garden. So it depending on your own personal usage and our own residential needs. And number 3 will be having the rooms being tucked to one side, having the same view. Will that be an important factor for you, depending on which stack, which facing you are choosing in that particular development? And of course, number 4, like we always mention, I think entry price will be important depending on how you go in and which part of the stack, which part of the environment you go into. And we also most importantly, we want to consider how to exit in the future. Because when you exit out, we are also looking at what kind of buyers that you potentially have, whether are they upgraders from 3-bedroom to 4-bedroom, or people who want to have a bigger space, who are tired, probably who are tired of living in landed, and they just want to enjoy condo living back again.
Definitely.
Yeah, so exit point would be also a very important part.
Okay, perfect. So that being said, I think that's the end for our analysis for Lentor Central Residences. If you got any question, okay, you can contact us over here. This side, yes. Okay, and can scan the QR code and let us know. Thank you so much. See you in the next video.
Thank you.